Good morning. Today we are going to study quantum numbers. So these quantum numbers are very useful. Just like we have seen that envelope, on the envelope if the address is written, then that envelope will reach to us. In the same way, these quantum numbers, they are the address of the electron. It means with the knowledge of the quantum number, we can reach where the electron is present inside the atom. It means in which energy cell, in which subcells, orbitals, what is the motion of the electron, whether the electron is moving clockwise or anti-clockwise. All the informations we can get from the quantum numbers. So first of all, you have studied Schrodinger wave equation. In the previous video we studied that solution of the Schrodinger wave equation, that eigenvalue, eigenfunction, psi square, in that one quantum numbers are also given. So in that one you have studied when the Schrodinger wave equation is solved, that three specific numbers are obtained, and with the help of the three specific numbers you can know about the energy, shape, size, orientation of an orbital in the atom. But you cannot get the complete information of an electron, and these three numbers are that principal quantum numbers, azimuthal quantum number, and magnetic quantum number. It means when the Schrodinger wave equation is solved for hydrogen atom, then three quantum numbers are obtained, and these three quantum numbers are principal quantum number, azimuthal quantum number, and magnetic quantum number. So with the help of these three quantum numbers, you can get the information about an orbital, and some information you can get about an electron also, but you cannot get complete information. So in that one number was missing, that the fourth quantum number, that is spin quantum number. So the spin quantum number was missing. So from the Schrodinger wave equation you have got three quantum numbers, but in that one quantum number was missing. So that's why one more number is introduced, fourth quantum number is introduced, that is called spin quantum numbers. So now you are getting four quantum numbers. So if the question is asked how many quantum numbers are there, four are there. What are the names of these quantum numbers? Principal quantum number, azimuthal quantum number, magnetic quantum number, and then spin quantum number. So what is the definition of the quantum number? So the numbers which designate and distinguish, various atomic orbitals and electrons present in an atom are called quantum numbers. What is the meaning of designate and distinguish? So with the help of these four numbers, if you want to differentiate between any two atomic orbitals, any two electrons inside the atom, you can differentiate with the help of these four numbers. So just you keep in your mind that these atomic numbers are just like the address of the electron. So just you see what I gave you, I have written here, you can note down in your copy that when Schrodinger wave equation is solved for hydrogen atom, three specific numbers are obtained. These numbers are used to specify energy, shape, size, and orientation of an orbital in atom. These three numbers are called quantum numbers, such as principal quantum number, azimuthal quantum number, and magnetic quantum number. These three numbers can give some information of an electron in an orbital. but they cannot give complete information of an electron. Means this is understood that these three numbers can give the some information of an electron in an orbiter, but they cannot give complete information. Means complete information about the electron in an orbiter. So the fourth quantum number, that is spin quantum number, is introduced. So now the definition of the quantum number. The quantum numbers may be defined as the numbers which designate and distinguish various atomic orbitals and electrons present in an atom are called quantum numbers. So for your knowledge, I want to tell you, when Schrodinger wave equation, when the Schrodinger wave equation is solved from the solution of the Schrodinger wave equation, when the Schrodinger wave equation is solved for hydrogen atom, you are getting only three numbers. And these three numbers, three quantum numbers you are getting by the solution of the Schrodinger wave equation. Which quantum numbers you are getting by the solution of the Schrodinger wave equation? That principal quantum number, azimuthal quantum number and magnetic quantum number. And the fourth quantum number is spin quantum number, that is introduced afterwards to get the complete information about an electron in an atom. So now we are going to study all these four quantum numbers in detail. So first of all, we will take principal quantum number. First of all, we will take principal quantum number. So now we are going to take principal quantum number. This principal quantum number is denoted by small m. This principal quantum number, first, that principal quantum number. This principal quantum number is denoted by n. It is denoted by small n. N is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 up to infinity. N cannot be 0. It's a very important point. You note down that no, N can't be 0. Because this N represents the main cell. N represents the main cell. If you are going to put N is equal to 0, it means you are going into the nucleus. But we are talking about the cell. So what information you are getting from this principal quantum numbers? So principal quantum number gives the following. Principal quantum number gives the following information. What informations you are getting from this principal quantum number? First of all, this quantum number will provide you the principal cell in which electron is present. This quantum number gives the principal shell or main cell in which electron is present. Electron is present. It is very simple. It will give the main cell. For example, N is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. So this one is K, L, M, N. So if you take any atom, these atoms, nucleus, different cells are there. Here N is equal to 1, N is equal to 2, N is equal to 3. So if the N is equal to 1, it shows This is the K shell, K, L, M, N, like that. N is equal to 4, K, L, M. So from this principal quantum number, you are getting the main cell. You are getting the main cell in which electron is present. Now the second information, the energy of the principal cell. This will give the energy of principal cell. So that energy formula already you studied, same only. En is equal to minus 2.18 10 raised to power minus 18 upon n square joule per atom. In the notes I have given 2.178. So you can take 2.18, it is easy. Then En is equal to minus 1312 upon n square joule, kilojoule, that kilojoule per mole, and then En is equal to minus 13.6 upon n square electron volt per atom. So from this quantum number, you are getting the energy of the principal cell. Means it is very simple. All these expressions you have studied. So the principle of the energy of the principal cell. Now the third information that will provide you the radius of principal cell. So next one is the third information you are getting, that it will provide you this quantum number gives the radius of the principal cell. So third one is that the radius of principal cell. So that I suggest you, radius of principal cell, already I have studied, Rn 0.529 n square angstrom. So this is for hydrogen atoms. If you want to give for hydrogen like atoms upon Z, here if you want to give for hydrogen like atoms multiplied by Z square. So that already you have studied in the Bohr's atomic model. So now the fourth information, it will give number of orbitals. So number of orbitals that is equal to n square. So suppose that if first cell is there, if n is equal to 1, then number of orbitals, that is 1 square, 1 only. In second cell, number of orbitals, that is 2 square, 2 to the 4. Like this you can calculate with this formula. Now the fifth point, that maximum number of electrons in a main cell. Maximum number of electrons in principal shell or main cell, that is equal to 2n square. For example, K shell, maximum number of electrons, that is equal to 2n square. For K cell, n is equal to 1, then 1 square, that will be 2. KL, M shell, already you studied in the lower classes. Maximum number of electrons, that is equal to 2n square, 2 multiplied, for n is equal to 2 square, 2 to the 4, 8. So these informations you are getting from the principal quantum number. The main thing you are getting, that cell you are getting. From this you are getting cell. This is the main point. From this principal quantum number you are getting the main cell, that is written here, that principal quantum number provide the principal energy cell or the cell element. And the value of m will be 1, 2, 3, 4. It cannot be 0. Sometimes they are asking the question, they are asking you just to see whether this one is this set of the quantum number is correct or not. So in that one they are putting the value of n 0. So I want to tell you the value of n cannot be 0. Now the second quantum number we are going to take azimuthal quantum number. Azimuthal quantum number. So next quantum number, that azimuthal quantum number. Azimuthal quantum number. Some more names are given. That angular quantum number, subsidiary quantum numbers. So that you can go through your book. Secondary quantum numbers. So it is denoted by. It is denoted by n. For n is equal to 0 to n minus 1. For example, if n is equal to 1, n will be 0. If n is equal to 2, n is equal to 0, 1. If n is equal to 3, n is equal to 0, 1, 2. And what information you are getting from this quantum number? So these quantum numbers give the following information. This quantum number gives the following information. First of all, this quantum numbers give the subcell in which electron is present. Subcell means SPDF. So this quantum number gives the subcell in which electron is present. This quantum number give you the subcell in which electron is present. For example, here is equal to 0, S subcell, here is equal to 1, P subcell, here is equal to 2, D subcell, and here is equal to 3, F subcell. So this is the first information you are getting, that it will provide you that subcells in which electron is present. Shell you have studied. Shell is the KLMN and the subcells are SPDF. Now the second information, number of subcells present in a particular cell. Number of subcells present in a particular cell. Means in any particular cell, how many subcells are there? For example, just you take K shell. For K shell, N is equal to 0. Then find out the value of L. L already you studied. For N is equal to 0 to N minus 1. So L will be 0. So if L is 0, so this you take the main cell 1, and then L is equal to 0, you are getting S. So this will be 1 S. Now second cell, K L cell. For L cell, N is equal to 0. If N is equal to 0, then the value of L will be 0 to N minus 1. Then L is 0, 1. Now make the symbol of this one. This will be the 2S, 2P. So how many subcells are present here? 2 subcells are there. Then In the same way, K, L, M, N is equal to 3, N is equal to 0, 1, 2. So this will be, just you take 3 and then one value 3s, then again 3, another value 3s, 3p, 3d. K, L, M, N cell. Then N is equal to 4, N is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3. So that will be 4s, 4p, 4d and 4. So it is very simple. In any cell, how many subcells are there? So in the first cell, only one subcell is there. In the second cell, two subcells are there. In the third cell, three subcells are there. In the fourth cell, four subcells are there. So this is the second information you are getting. Now the third information, the shape of subcell. The shape of subcell. It is given that L is giving the orientation. So by that way we can get the subcell. So just you see in your book, just you go through what is given. The azimuthal quantum number L is responsible for a particular shape of a particular subcell because it defines the spatial distribution of the electron cloud around the nucleus. So since it gives the distribution of electron cloud, so that's why it is giving the shape of the subcell. Now the fourth one, that's very important, the orbital angular momentum of electron. Now the fourth information you are getting, that orbital angular momentum. So the fourth one, it is giving the orbital angular momentum of an electron in an orbital. So this, the orbital angular momentum of the electron. The orbital angular momentum of an electron. So this orbital angular momentum, that is denoted by L, it is given that h upon 2 pi under root L plus 1. This is the formula. L is the orbital angular momentum. L is the orbital angular momentum. For example, if you calculate for 2s, so for the 2s, L is equal to 0, then L will be 0. For 2p, L is equal to 1, then L is equal to h upon 2 pi under root 1 plus 1, so h upon 2 pi under root 3. So I want to tell you, either you take the 2p or 3p or 4p, this angular momentum will be same, because that depends on the value of L. Either it is 2p, 3p or 4p, since the value of L is same, so that's why the angular momentum will be same. So these informations you are getting from this second quantum number, that azimuthal. Now we are going to take the third quantum number, that magnetic quantum number. Now next one is the magnetic quantum number. So next one is the magnetic quantum number. Magnetic quantum number. Magnetic quantum number is denoted by M. It is denoted by M. For L, M is equal to minus L to plus 1 plus L, in between 0 will be there. So this magnetic quantum number, just you see, if you take L is equal to 0, then M is 0. if you take n is equal to 1, then n will be minus 1, 0, plus 1. If you take n is equal to 2, n will be minus 2, minus 1, 0, plus 1, plus 2. So like this you are getting the values of m. And this quantum number is also called orientation quantum number. This quantum number is also called orientation quantum. This quantum number is also called orientation quantum number because it tells the distribution of electron cloud in space. Because it tells the distribution of electron cloud. It tells about the distribution of electron cloud in space around the nucleus. In space around the nucleus. So this quantum number is also called orientation quantum number because this quantum number is used because this quantum number tells about distribution of electron cloud in space around the nucleus. And this quantum number is used to explain the Zeeman effect. This quantum number is used to explain Zeeman effect. You must be thinking, what is Zeeman effect? In the Zeeman effect we have studied that when the magnetic field is applied in hadron spectrum, then one spectral line will split to different spectral lines. It means, as the Niels Bohr told, that one spectral line is obtained, but in that one different spectral lines were there. So that can be explained when the electrons are coming from the different orbitals, because in one cell subcells and orbitals are there. So when the electrons are coming from the different orbitals, so the different spectral line will be obtained. So by this way the Zeeman effect is explained. Then what information we are getting? So this quantum number gives about this quantum number gives the orbital. This quantum number gives the orbital in which electron is present. So you have studied that principal quantum number, that is giving the cell. Then you have got that Mutter quantum number, that is giving the subcell, and this one is giving orbital. So this quantum number gives the orbital in which electron is present. So by the knowledge of this quantum number, you can know that in which orbital electron is present. So for example, for S subcell, and this quantum number will also give that how many orbitals are present. So for S subcell, L is equal to 0. So one more thing you can write, that this quantum number gives the number of orbitals in a subcell. In a subcell, how many orbitals are there? That also you can do. So first of all, we are taking the S subcell. So in S subcell, we have studied that L is equal to 0. So if the L is equal to 0, M will also be 0. It means that one orbital is there. One box means one orbital. Then P subcell, that for P subcell, L is equal to 1. So for L is equal to 1, how you can calculate the value of M minus L to plus L? So M is equal to minus 1, 0, plus 1. It means in that one 3 orbitals are there. That is Px, Py, Pz. So for P subcell, 3 orbitals are there. That is Px, Py and Pz. And this formula is there. Number of orbitals that is equal to 2L plus 1. So just you apply here 2L plus 1, then 2 plus 1, 3 orbitals you are getting. Then Sp and D subcell. For D subcell, L is equal to 2, then M is equal to minus 2, minus 1, 0, plus 1 and plus 2. Here how many orbitals are there? That 5 orbitals are there. These are dxy, dyz, dxz, dx square minus y square, dz square. Then for F subcell, that L is equal to 3, then M is equal to minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, plus 1, plus 2, plus 3. In this one, how many orbitals are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is for you. In S subcell, only one orbital. In P subcell, 3 orbitals. In F subcell, 7 orbitals, and in D, 5 orbitals. So as I have written the same way you can write, but certain rules are there that which this certain rules are there. For Pz, M is equal to 0, and for Px, M is equal to plus 1, and for Py, M is equal to minus 1. So for Pz orbital, when M is equal to 0, then it will be the Pz orbital. And regarding M is equal to plus 1, you can take Px. So M is equal to minus 1, you have to take the Py. And suppose that if you interchange, for Py you can take plus 1 and for Px you can take minus 1. And in the same way, for d orbitals also, that certain points are given for d orbitals, that also you can note down. Just you see, for dz square, M is equal to 0. For dxz, M is equal to plus 1. For dyz, M is equal to minus 1. Both can be exchanged. Then dx square minus y square, that M is equal to plus 2, and dxy, that M is equal to minus 2. The meaning is that here for dz square you have to take the M is equal to 0, and for dxz you can take M is equal to plus 1, and dyz you can take M is equal to minus 1. But suppose that you can exchange. If you want to give dxz M is equal to minus 1, then for dyz you can give you M is equal to plus 1. In the same way, these two also can be exchanged. that dx square minus y square you can give m is equal to plus 2 and dxy you can give m is equal to minus 2. And if you are giving dx square minus y square m is equal to minus 2, then this will be plus 2. Here just you see, you are getting m is equal to minus 1, 0, plus 1. It means for this one, you will take the orbital that pz, and for minus 1, you can take py or px plus 1. So that way it is given to you. Now next one is the spin quantum number. This is the last quantum number, that spin quantum number. So this spin quantum number, it tells about the spin motion of an electron in the orbital. Spin quantum number. It is denoted by spin quantum numbers give the spin motion of electron. Spin, this quantum number gives the spin motion of an electron. So just you see, electron is revolving around the nucleus and electron is rotating on its axis, and the rotation that is called spin motion, and electron revolves around the nucleus and rotates on its axis. The rotation of electron on its axis is called spin motion. An orbital can have two electrons. One electron can move clockwise. S will be plus half. The other electron can move anti-clockwise. S will be minus half. So for each m, for each value of m, S is equal to plus minus half. It means an orbital can have two electrons. Then one electron will be clockwise, other will be anti-clockwise. So for the one electron, S is equal to plus half, and for the other electron, S is equal to minus half. This way you can keep, or this way, any way you can represent. If one box represents one orbital, and one orbital, two electrons are there, so one can move clockwise, other one will anti-clockwise. So for this, S is equal to plus half, S is equal to minus half. So this is all about the quantum numbers. Now, next you have to solve the questions. So examples are given, 2.17, all these examples are very important. Example 2.17, 2.18, 19, 20. 2.17, 18, 19 and 20. All these examples are very important. Few examples I will give you. Just you see. Find out all the values of the quantum number for n is equal to 3. So, question is that find out all the values of quantum numbers for n is equal to 3. It means n is equal to 3 is given, then you have to find out the values of the other quantum number. It is very simple. Just to see, n is equal to 3, then you find out the value of n. You have studied for n is equal to 0 to n minus 1. So for n is equal to 3, n is equal to 0, 1, 2. So you can write n is equal to 0, 1, 2. Then next, value of m. How can you get value of m? You have studied for l, m is equal to minus l to plus l including 0. So when l is equal to 0, m is equal to 0. When n is equal to 1, m is equal to minus 1, 0, plus 1. When n is equal to 2, then m is equal to minus 2, minus 1, 0, plus 1, plus 2. So here you can write that m is equal to 0. Here, three values are there. Minus 1, 0, plus 1. Then here, five values are there. Then m is equal to minus 2, m is equal to minus 1, m is equal to 0, m is equal to plus 1, m is equal to plus 2. Regarding yes, one value of m is one orbital. In one orbital, 2 electrons. So one electron will be clockwise, other electron will be anti-clockwise. So that's why plus minus half. Here also 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 plus minus half. Plus minus half. Plus minus half. So by this way they are asking the question. Now example 2.18, they are asking find out the notation. Let me see. Next question 2.18, they are asking find out the notation. So how to do this one? Question number 2.18. Find out notation. So it is already given here that values I will write here, then I will tell you that A, n is equal to 1, n is equal to 0, B, n is equal to 2, n is equal to 1, C, n is equal to 3, n is equal to 0, D, n is equal to 4, n is equal to 3, and E, n is equal to 5, n is equal to. So just to see, you have studied that n is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, S, P, D, O. So very simple. 1, n is equal to 0, yes. 2, n is equal to 1. Then here n is equal to 3, n is equal to 0, yes. N is equal to 3, 4n. 5, n is equal to 2. So other example, please solve from your book. When it is coming in review exercise, then we will do on the board.